I've been saying that South Africa is coming to America. As a matter of fact, it's already here and it's being built up. It's already here. And whether you believe me or not is up to you. But one of the ways to bring South Africa into any other country, you got to destroy the men and put the women in charge. And when the women are in charge, the doors are wide open for destruction. Look at the country now. As you put women in charge, look what's happening. Because the spiritual order of God has been broken, it's been rearranged, and nothing else is going to work but that. Look at all the lawlessness and the destruction and the evil that is coming forward. There's nothing to stop it. Men in a fallen state are afraid to be honest with women. They're afraid to tell them the truth because of the mama effect. They have not overcome mama. But look at the states where women are controlling. All hell is breaking loose. Likewise in the homes. When men are weak or not there at all and the woman take over the home, everybody end up screwed up on drugs, alcoholics, and all kind of stuff. Prostitutes and slut makers. Well, America, I've been warning you, short of a miracle from God, South Africa would be in full force in America if it's not turned around. Here's an example. This is from AMNY. Is that AM New York? AMNY. The mayor of New York, Blasio, declared June 19th. And by the way, they say June 19th is something called Juneteenth or Teenth or something dumb. And that is supposed to be when the blacks were freed from slavery, and a whole lot of black slaves or people didn't know, and they found out 2 years later or so. And so I asked in church yesterday, did the black people thank white people for freeing them? Because back in the day when blacks were freed, there were no black people fighting for that. It was white people who freed the blacks from slavery. So is June 10th or June 19th a day of celebration and appreciation to white people for freeing them? I don't know because I didn't celebrate that whole thing. I'm not into that, but did the blacks, when they held their little whatever events, was it to show appreciation to the whites in America for freeing them? Or did they ignore the whites and pretend that it didn't happen? That the whites didn't have anything to do with it. All of a sudden they freed themselves. I'm just wondering out loud, did they celebrate a day of appreciation to the whites, or was it a day of phoniness that they freed themselves? Anybody know? I would take a guess. I could be wrong, but I would take a guess they ignored the whites and pretended they freed themselves, knowing the blacks. And not all, but most. It's a spiritual battle, folks. So the New York Mayor, Bill de Blasio, declared June 19th an official city holiday and created the Racial Justice and Reconciliation Commission. Racial Justice and Reconciliation Commission. What is that? I have nobody. Sound like South Africa, right? A panel meant to correct any racial injustice. So you got black people, and mostly women, trying to correct any racial injustice. Mind blowing, sir. How are they going to correct it? It is mind-blowing. I'm being told that, according to AM New York, de Blasio called June 19th a celebration of a liberation that never really came. And I want to remind you, I think that guy is married to a black ex-lesbian or something. So you know he's married to a black ex-lesbian. You know he has no backbone. Whatever that black woman say, de Blasio has no other choice but to do what she says. It is the first of its kind in any American city or state. And de Blasio compared it to the Truth and Reconciliation Commission of South Africa. I told you, y'all think I'm playing. I ain't playing. Here's the soundbite.
I want to give honor to God. Without him, this day would not be possible. We're doing something in New York City that's never been done before in this country. We're naming a city commission on racial justice and reconciliation, just like the Truth and Reconciliation Commission in South Africa, that got to the whole impact that apartheid had on that society. We're going to systematically look at the history of racism in this city, the way it lives today, the structural and institutional reality of racism, the way it surrounds us and pervades our life and holds back people of color in every conceivable way, whether it's housing or employment or just the life you live walking down the street.
That's amazing. I can't believe this is happening. But yet I believe it. White people hanging themselves. They're hanging themselves. I don't know. Well, I know when you're angry in a fallen state, you can't see what you're doing. But white people don't see what they're doing to themselves. They're turning over their lives to black people. And they're pretending that racism is a real issue. It's not. What the? And listen up. De Blasio made his wife co-chair of the commission. His wife, his black ex-lesbian wife, the co-chair of this racial reconciliation commission. All I gotta say, y'all better hide behind rocks. Go find yourself a rock. You're going to need it to hide behind if this continue down this path. Because these black folk hate white people. And they are now intimidating you and making you hang your own self. It's mind-blowing. This is warfare between good and evil. You do what you want, you've been warned. Black people don't have love, folks. They hate. Wait until you hear the number of killing in Chicago just over the weekend, Father's Day weekend, and around the country. Black on black violence against one another. So not only do they hate each other, they hate their parents, they hate themselves, and they literally hate white people because they're being convinced that whites are the problem. But it's not true. And no one will say it. Everybody going, oh, poor blacks. Let's get in reconciliation. Reconciliation. Injustice. Racism just rampant. You can't even walk up and down the road if you're black in America. How you fall for that lie? Don't you see what's happening? Amazing. And don't forget to like, follow, tweet, subscribe, and share the JLP Peterson radio show, folks. We really appreciate it. We are at war. It is a spiritual battle for the soul of America. And it's going to take all of us to do it.